Welcome to Switch Flicks Podcast, episode 102, recorded on September 20th, 2022. In this episode, we'll be discussing our thoughts on the latest trailer for Breath of the Wild 2, also now known as a different name, showcased at last week's Nintendo Direct. My name is Dakota, and today I'm joined by Nathan.
Wah wah.
And Tyler.
Hello. And you won't believe it, but according to ggrecon.com, the name has been leaked. Breath of the Wild 2 is a new name. An insider has now claimed that it won't be called Breath of the Wild 2 at all, and instead it will be named Legend of Zelda Breath of Duality. Nintendo Life journalist Paul Gale shared a blog spot in his own website claiming that a source close to Nintendo informed him. Apparently, the company wants to capitalize on the name Breath of the Wild, and that it's synonymous with an amazing game, but also wants to hit home that you can play more than just Link. So, I don't know what to say. But
oh my gosh, that's substantial news.
That is a substantial leak. I don't know what else to say.
That sounds like a marketing hellhole for Nintendo.
Wait, did he specify, like, what his connection was? Like, was his uncle who worked at Nintendo?
I think it might have been. It doesn't say in there, but I bet his uncle probably does work for Nintendo.
Damn, that's.
He can't conceal the name. He can't conceal the relationship because it will. He doesn't want his uncle to get fired, but it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes 100% sense. Yes, yeah.
Being a good nephew.
Yeah, I'd be a really, really good nephew, responsible for keeping in a worldwide secret.
Fast forward to 4 months later, the game is now called Tears of the Kingdom, which was also revealed last week.
Can't believe the uncle was wrong. It's insane.
Oh man.
So maybe that's a good point just to start off with. What do you think of the name?
I thought it was funny that people didn't know if it was Tears of the Kingdom or Tears of the Kingdom. That was a funny like weekend.
Yeah, even before that, people made the good point that you can just translate the Japanese kanji for whatever the logo is, and the kanji that they use means tears as in crying and not tears as in tears.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
Yeah.
Also, Tears of the Kingdom makes no sense.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, kinda.
Well,
Tear's only really I don't think it could be properly used in that context. Like, even if they ripped the very fabric of reality or something like that.
If it was like Tears in the Kingdom, that makes a little more sense. But doesn't make any sense for Tears.
Yeah, with Tears, you could just think, oh, it's just tearing into 3 different areas. There could be a middle ground, middle rural, high rural, low rural.
Tearing into, shoot, yeah, can't wait to go through that again.
You can go to Hyrule, Midgard. Sorry.
Oh no. We're gonna start mixing in Norse mythology now.
But what if the name was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 Bond of the Triforce? That's another thing I saw. That'd be
that's such a mouthful.
I wouldn't be against it, but yeah, like it's a mouthful and it's also generic as heck.
It's true. But the thumbnail of this video says that the official title was leaked, so how couldn't it be that?
True. I mean, they could have gone a little more edgy and went with Breath of Darkness.
Oh, okay. Legend of Zelda. I can't think of a funny joke. I think that's a good subtitle.
That's a good
one. Yeah.
With the name, it kind of implies more story, I think. Or more in-depth plot and lore for the kingdom.
I'm not banking too much on that, but we barely know anything.
Or just like someone cries in the final cutscene.
I mean, we totally never seen crying in a Zelda game before, let alone like even just the previous one.
Breaking news! Tears of the Kingdom reveals that Link actually has tear ducts and is capable of crying.
Nintendo made a pretty big emphasis that this title would have spoiled the whole story. Like, it would have ruined your thoughts over how the story would go. But like, what does this mean? What does Tears of the Kingdom mean? Other than like a 5-second shot at the end of the second trailer. What does it mean?
I do kind of remember, I think it was last podcast episode, but I said that the title might as well just be Legend of Zelda. Something bad happens.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much all it's saying.
I mean, that's
Someone
pretty much the entire
probably will
franchise.
cry, or multiple people.
Yeah,
Will
I
cry?
think they might have either had a different name at the time, or they were just kind of overthinking it and it was just for the press. And I think it's
Mhm.
option number 2.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's trying to conceal a name and like making up excuses for that.
Probably also why the Mario
Yeah.
movie trailer hasn't come out yet. It's gonna spoil the whole
Ouch.
movie.
Ouch.
I mean, with Hollywood films, yeah, Hollywood trailers
It's
do
true.
that. They, in the trailer, they kind of added to what people were thinking beforehand with the initial trailer.
Mhm.
They didn't really show much straight gameplay, but they did show, okay, Link is running across the screen. Link is
Yeah.
now grab a hold of something. Now he's climbing. Now there's some kind of stasis
Skydiving.
thing going up in the air.
Yeah.
It was all confusing.
What
Still
the
no
heck?
straight answers.
Yeah, literally
It's
just
just
like plain generic gameplay that half of which we've already know is going to be in there, like climbing is going to be in there, skydiving we already knew, islands. Oh shoot, yeah, that's a really new feature. Sure, clouds. Yeah,
Whoa, I'm pretty sure there's at least one island in Breath of the Wild, so
Yeah, just the one that he
I think
stands
it's
on in the box art.
yeah, I think this was kind of a Breath of the Wild ripoff, I think. It's kind of unoriginal for Nintendo, and I thought they'd do better.
I'm sorry. Did you mean Genshin Impact ripoff?
It is, yes. It's a Immortals Phoenix Rising ripoff.
So with the trailer, they also didn't really show the extent of how far the Skylands go, or how they work.
Yeah,
Like, do you just teleport up there? Do you have to use Rivali's Gale again? Do you use that little stasis elevator thing?
use the little tiers that they showed in the other trailer that launch you up into the air through the ground.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, they didn't really have that here. They made so much emphasis on the title reveal, but they didn't even show the one thing that.
Which is fine. I think Nintendo knows exactly what they're doing. Zelda fans foaming at the mouth for this trailer, and now
I
they're
mean,
foaming again.
like that mural showing Zelda dying. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Uh,
how to entice audiences? Number one, kill a character off.
yeah, especially the title character.
Yeah, especially the title character.
I mean, last game they technically killed her off. She was like just a disembodied voice for 90% of the game.
I mean, it's kind of
That's
like she
like
got.
all Zelda games, though.
That's true.
I guess.
She kind of just gets devoured, but she doesn't really die necessarily. I mean, you get a couple games where she gets turned to stone, but that's like the most cliche thing in any fantasy story.
The only
Yeah.
Zelda that I believe could like run her own story, like would be able to replace Link, would be Twilight Princess Zelda. The Twilight Princess Zelda feels like the only Zelda that actually stand a chance to fight against a bunch of people.
Oh, you clearly don't know enough, do you?
Yeah, I clearly don't. I just think she looks cool and has a big sword
Okay,
sometimes.
fair enough. She does have a sword. She does know how to use a bow. She
What
knows how
what are
to
they gonna
do
do? They're
everything.
just gonna spin around in a circle with the little blue triangle? What the heck? That's literally
There is.
nothing.
Let's fast forward 2 games. You get to actually play as her.
Oh, are you? Well, that's like cheating, is it? Right?
I won't get to. I won't review that. That's one thing I'll tell you. I won't review that yet.
I think if you talk about like, speaking of, what are the chances you think Linkle's gonna be in Breath of the Wild 2?
There is a negative
Neg-
percent.
negative 99%.
What are the chances that Linkle will show up like ever again?
Negative.
Negative 9,000%.
Very strange to be brought up in one side series game and then forgotten about.
Why
And
do
they
you
made
expect?
such a big deal about it.
Why do you think they made a big deal about it?
They made a big deal about it, and then they just went, okay.
Okay, well, to be fair, the closest thing they ever did to bringing Linkle back was concept art of Link's sister looking a little bit like Link.
Oh.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild concept art had his family. You know, it had glimpses of his sister, his younger sister, and his father. Both of which look like characters from other Zelda games.
I do remember when Breath of the Wild was coming out, like all
Mm-hmm.
the thumbnails would have like the shot of the back of Link's head and be like Linkle question mark exclamation mark red
Oh
arrow
my
pointing.
gosh! Everyone
Like,
thought it was gonna be
everyone thought Link would be a girl.
yeah.
Well, the current trend is doing that 1 3 second clip of Link maybe climbing one of the islands, and he's like the barbarian Link, and
Oh, are
everybody's
you?
like, "Who is that?"
Everyone thinks it's not Link when he has that
Mario.
long mullet.
I don't know. Like he was coming out of that cave with the giant doors as regular Link, how he knows. So I think that's like an ancient Link.
Oh.
M- My speculation is that, well, Link just knows how to make hairstyles now, and and that
Yeah.
those doors are like halfway through the game.
It was just a
Just
really good hair salon.
Yeah, he
it's so
just
they
finds
can
really
fit
good
in
hair.
2 Breath of the Wild shots in one game.
No way.
Oh my gosh!
Never been done before.
Could you imagine?
I want to
Honestly,
like
Nintendo's
parody
the people to
game.
do that.
I want like a parody game like was it called The Looker? Or is that the real one? I don't remember. But like it's a game, it's an open world game, but every single time you walk through a door, it is a Breath of the Wild shot. Like anytime you load into a new area, it is a Breath of the Wild shot of the new area.
Oh my gosh!
That's
You
the
like
music and everything.
yeah, like a
Yeah,
big
with
you walk
soft
into like the
piano
coffee
music
shop and it's a big music swell as like the camera glitches out of bounds
and like the
because
logo
it's just a
pops up.
small coffee shop.
The logo always pops up too.
To whatever
Yeah.
location. If you show up to the coffee shop, it's a coffee shop logo. If you show up to your room, it's like the room.
Your room.
Flying on islands. That sounds awfully familiar. Like we had like what 5 games doing that.
Really? I
Yeah,
only thought it would be this one and Skyward Sword. What else? What other games was he flying on islands?
Twilight Princess,
Oh,
Four Swords
oh,
Adventures, and the Minish Cap.
wow. Okay. So 3 of those games that you mentioned didn't count. So that's crazy.
Actually, 2 of them don't count because they're Super Mario's. They're Super Mario Zelda games. The other one, let's just say, you'd be making a very fatal mistake saying it's not important.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Anyway,
We'll see.
um, tell me more. Tell me more about what you're excited to see in this game. Like based on this trailer. Like what really got you hyped? What was
What got me hyped about this game?
outside of the fact that it's Zelda? Like any specific thing?
Okay, that's actually very difficult to say because
Oh.
I'm very scared to say this, but I'm not very optimistic about this game. Like
Oh.
I'm actually starting to like shrink back into that little reserved state of worry that this game isn't gonna blow me
It
away.
is big shoes to fill.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has
it's a
really
sequel
good
to arguably the most influential game in the past 10 years.
Game of the Year 2017.
So,
Yeah. People really did like Immortals Phoenix Rising, huh? Anyway. That game's so funny.
I
It
think
just came out and was Breath of the Wild, huh?
I think what mainly surprised me is the obvious connections. I guess they're obvious to Twilight Princess. There's just too many.
Oh, yeah, there's quite a lot of them.
The fact that the logo basically turns the Master Sword in the Z into like Twilight Realm gobbledygook.
Mm,
That just gives
I
it
really
away.
shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have stopped playing that game 25 minutes in, huh? Sounds like it'd be important to if I want
Sounds
to
like
play
it'd be
this one.
very too important to miss, especially being an A tier game on our list.
Yeah, don't worry. I ditched that game too. I got to like the first or second tier quest in like the desert area, and I just gave up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
my
game.
whole family
I
like
realized that there's gonna be more of that, and I'm like, no, yeah, absolutely.
Spoiler
not.
alert: there's only 3 of them.
There's like the first tutorial one, the second one, and there's a third one.
Yeah, there's only 3 of them.
Oh, well,
now you're
the
regretting
story
your
didn't really
entire
interest me anyway.
I
I
think
mean,
making
if they
a-
remake it for the Switch, I'll probably play it. I had that made on the Wii U.
Buddy.
I do gotta say, I think like Legend of Zelda, I don't particularly love the games, but I do like
How dare
looking at the
you?
characters.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
everyone has their own style.
Yeah, that's the big problem.
particularly say I enjoy Zelda games that much. I probably won't play through too many of them, but you'd be correct if you'd be surprised the amount of times it'd be like, yeah, maybe I want to draw Skull Kid or Midna or uh Wind Waker Ganondorf specifically. Like, just Legend of Zelda is full of so many great little characters, and I hope this game's bound to have a few. Like, it's hard to miss. Legend of Zelda really doesn't miss most of the time with character design, so I'm excited to see what they have this time.
Well, they better
You are
really
Zelda
try
theorist.
hard.
You are a single Zelda theorist. Do you have any idea of the villain of this game?
Me?
And just any guesses?
Any guess? Could be Demise from Skyward Sword because all this malice is flying around. Could be Ganon
Okay,
because why not? They
because
had,
he always shows up.
he always shows up.
He's a big
Uh,
skeleton now, but who cares?
if you want to disappoint people, it could be Aster from Age of Calamity. Uh,
Okay.
Sant because of Twilight stuff.
Sorry, who'd
Uh,
you? Oh, Zant. I am
Zant.
so sorry. I heard Sans.
Sant?
You
Sant? Sant.
get to the final room, it's just Sans. But yeah.
Sant. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say any other villain because it wouldn't make sense for it would not make sense for them to be there. It could also
Okay.
be an entirely new villain, but I am not 100% banking on that.
So
Unless
you're telling me it probably won't be the one old lady from the Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds?
I never even played that game.
I don't know her name. She's not an old lady. She has like pink hair, I think.
Hilda?
Maybe?
They're never gonna like explore that yet. It'd be well, if they do, I'd be shocked, but they probably won't do that. They're so focused on the skies and going underground. Yeah, that's
I'm thinking it's called Tears of the Kingdom. So I imagine you collect a bunch of tears and then you rehydrate Ganondorf and he comes back because he looks like he's a little dehydrated. So you hydrate him with all the tears you collect and then beat him up once and for all. And that's the game ends.
what is this?
So-
Castlevania 2?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
it is.
That's a masterpiece then I guess.
That or Yuga is the main villain. So
Get out. I don't like Yuka at all.
what are you talking about? You don't like the funny lady with a receding hairline?
Yeah, I don't like her.
You don't like the witch with a receding hairline? How dare
I
you?
don't like her. No.
No.
She's she looks like she wants to freaking mock you for your artistic skills
Fair enough, fair enough.
with that cheeky smile of hers. Well, anyways, we are getting really off topic here, aren't we?
I think we're perfectly on topic, but we can continue.
Right, Dakota. What about you? Who do you think is going to be the villain?
Honestly, it'd be cool to bring back any villain that
Any
isn't
villain.
Ganon.
Fatty.
So you are anti-rehydrate Ganon storyline.
unless
noted.
unless they're hydrating Ganon for him to become like an anti-hero.
Oh,
won't happen.
oh my gosh!
Rehydrate Ganon to fight Yuga. Yeah, let's go.
I don't think Yuga stands a chance at all.
And then
It's true.
they can throw in a co-op multiplayer with 3 players. One's Link, one's Zelda, and then you can only play with 3 players in the finale with Ganondorf.
And the
Yeah.
post game. Or
And
the
the
new
post-game.
game plus. That definitely will exist. New game plus, you can play as Ganondorf
Oh my
or
gosh!
Yuga.
Yeah, I just think it would be cool to just bring back somebody.
If
Yeah.
we were to bring back
Even
somebody,
if you're like a side character, it'd be cool if like you go into a house or something and it's like Zant's coffee shop and he's like,
Hey. Well, it'd be even funnier if you walked into a shop where that's ran by a bald guy who suddenly zaps you with lightning for stealing something.
or
Get
Yuga.
the reference.
Honestly, I think Yuga being a coffee shop owner makes a lot more sense than the main villain of the game, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. No
Just-
comment. No
She
comment.
kind of looks like I wouldn't be. If you told me that was the main villain of a Legend of Zelda game, I'd be like, maybe. But they also kind of look like as normal as a civilian. So
Normal civilian with a paintbrush.
yeah, just
Hmm.
a big one. I kind
Well,
of forget this trailer if I'm being completely honest. Was it
that's the
just
problem.
various shots of Link running in like the sky?
Yeah, 90 seconds of
Pretty
Link
much.
running. You got a couple mural shots, but nothing important.
Yeah,
Legend of
it'll all
Zelda.
be explained in
Featured
probably
party.
the first 40 minutes.
That's the problem. This trailer just didn't really have as much of a hype factor to it as that E3 trailer did.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the fact that was like the first time them announcing it, yeah, there's hype behind that, of course.
Second time. I'm talking like it was the
Oh,
one
yeah,
where
the second one.
yeah, the one with Link skydiving literally out of nowhere.
I think
That was crazy.
I think they're still releasing like teaser trailers. Eventually, we'll get a full trailer that will be epic and finally give all the information we want once they get into their marketing stand. Usually, it's like 2 or 3 weeks before the game comes out.
What a
Um,
Nintendo Switch presentation style trailer?
Yeah, like that trailer from 2017 is one of the greatest game trailers of all time, if not the greatest game trailer of all time.
Okay,
And
fair enough.
it hasn't been even close to topped in my mind. And I just
Uh,
want basically a sequel to that trailer.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you on that.
What
I don't
other
know if
game has had such like a hype trailer on its own?
Age of Calamity teaser, the one
Yeah,
the one
no.
that actually was stylized as a prequel and not a half sequel.
The thing is, the hype for that trailer just immediately died for me the instant they said, "Oh, it's Hyrule Warriors." You lost me.
I may
Oh
be
man,
biased, but I think one of my most hyped trailers is Pokemon Legends Arceus, and then I didn't love the game, but the trailer was hyped.
honestly, I have to agree with you at least with the second trailer. The second
I don't actually
trailer,
remember what the first trailer is.
no one remembers the first trailer other than having framey Pokemon in the background. The
Hmm.
second trailer was what sold me in that game because you had that like one part where the character jumps off a cliff and hops onto a Pokemon.
Yeah, I actually
That
have
was
no idea. What would be my what's like the most hyped trailer? I don't even remember the Breath of the Wild being hype. I just remember the game coming out and people being like, "It's good." And then I went, "Okay."
is good.
It is funny that this trailer ended up just being a 90-second excuse to show the title.
Yeah, like I think
It's like,
that's
I guess
literally the only.
it is still slightly more hype than like I don't know, some Nintendo employee or I don't know, the creator of Zelda coming up and being like, "Here's the name."
I
And that's
mean,
it.
fair enough, but I found a lot more hype seeing a broken Master Sword, and that was only 5 seconds.
Okay, but
Yeah.
consider this.
That was more hype
Ends.
than 90 seconds of this.
Consider this. The direct ends and like we have one more thing to talk to you about, and then it's a black background, and the creator of Zelda shows up on this black background,
Dark blue.
dark blue. I don't know, whatever he did when he was saying that it was delayed, and he kind of gives the same performance, but instead gives you the title.
I think
I
that
mean,
would have worked equally well.
that would have worked really really nicely. Like we didn't need to get a 90-second trailer if they were going to show us like nothing. Nothing too excited, nothing to get excited about.
You know how many YouTube videos I would see the day after that trailer came out if it was just the logo?
People will be speculating like crazy by then.
Like
I
if they
think it'd
kept
be
all the
so hype.
stylistic points of the logo with the like the green hue and circle, that would have been like crazy. The internet would have broke just for a
I
logo.
think it would have been so hype if it looked like he was delaying it, and he's like, and he starts off by just saying that like we've been working hard and long on our sequel to Breath of the Wild, just talking about how much hard work they're putting into this. So obviously leading into a delay, and he's like,
Oh no.
and here we go, the name. I don't know, and then like a release date ish or something. That
But
would
that's
be
But
Bait and
very
switch.
yeah.
yeah.
Although I don't really feel like Nintendo isn't super known for twist endings, so
I also think that we're gonna get like a cinematic trailer next year sometime when all the voice acting is
Please.
finished.
Please
So-
give us a cinematic trailer. I need the hype. I
I
need
think
that
the
hype.
voice acting just needs to be finished by now. Like it's usually 6 months ish before they record anything.
Easy.
If Nintendo was like super out of touch, I can imagine a cinematic trailer that ends with Link saying like 2 words.
I can also imagine that. I was just thinking that too.
Yeah,
Or at least
that's how
him
you
like
kill.
breathing in, going, and then cut.
That's exactly
Or,
how
like,
you kill a community.
I'm picturing like a super cinematic trailer with like a bunch of words, like mostly Zelda talking, and then it ends with just like a close up on Link's mouth, and he says like, I don't know if it's like really cheesy. He says
Excuse
something
me.
about it's like a close up of Link's mouth, and he says something like, I don't know how to. They incorporate Tears of the Kingdom into what he says. So he's like, I really gotta collect these tears for the kingdom, and then like super like high octane Legend of Zelda theme blares in the background as like the logo comes up. That's out of touch Nintendo. That's
Yeah.
my thought. If
Out of
Nintendo was
touch
super
Nintendo.
out of touch,
Oh man.
more so than they already are, that would be how they end like their hype Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom hype trailer.
Thank you for joining us and discussing our thoughts on the Tears of the Kingdom trailer. We'd love it if you could follow us on Twitter and listen to future episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Join our community Discord server to continue today's discussion. And we'll see you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast.